Hello, my name is Seth Kaler, and today I'll be discussing Google Drive with you. After you get logged in, you'll see the screen that looks something like this. This is the Google Drive. Here in the middle is where all your documents will live. You'll be able to see them, and we'll create a few in just a little while. On the left-hand side is where you can go to your drive, create new documents, create new slideshows and presentations and such. Up at the top is the search box that you can search it only searches your drive. And then up in the right hand corner are some icons that we'll be talking about in just a minute. First though, I wanted to focus on this left hand side here. And what it is if you're in a new view, there's a new view and there's an older view. The new view, it says new. If you're in an older view, it says, I believe it says create new or something like that. We're going to get everybody to the new look because that's where Google is going to. They're going to switch over to that new look, and so if we show you the old way, once they switch over, it won't make any sense. So the way that you do that to get to that new look is right over here under these gears. This is the actual settings. If you'll tap there, and you should see something that says experience the new drive. If you'll tap on experience the new drive, it'll get you to this look here. If it already says new here, you're good to go. So under new, what can we do? Well, if we tap on new or click on new, we can make a new folder. We can upload a file. We can upload a whole folder of files. Or we can create a new document, a new sheet, a new slide. Those are the three main ones that they put up there, and basically it's like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. There is a more, and if you click on more, you'll see forms and drawings. Forms are good for making quizzes or entrance tickets to meetings, stuff like that. And drawings is if you're going to make like a flow chart or something like that, unless you draw circles, triangles, arrows, all that kind of stuff. The big three though that are here, the docs, sheets, and slides are the main ones that we'll be working with today though. The first thing that I'm going to have you to do, well, I'm skipping ahead. Here, let's go ahead and get back over here and I'll explain some more of this. There's My Drive. That's where everything that you make, everything that you create lives in My Drive. And once you start creating folders, there's actually a little drop down and you can list through all the folders there and see your content. Incoming is everything that anyone has shared with you. So if I share a document with you, you don't see it in My Drive because you didn't create it. You'll see it in incoming, and it'll be listed as my name, when I shared it with you, and I believe what kind of rights you have to it. Recent is just that, all the recent files. So if you have a big list of files that you've been working in and you want to jump to just the most recent ones that you've had, you can click on recent and it'll bring up those last worked on documents. And starred, you can star one if it's important. You open up that document, make sure it's starred, so that when you go in here and click on starred, all of your starred documents come up. And lastly, there's trash. So when you do delete them, they do go in the trash can before they actually get deleted permanently. So if you're ever missing a document, you can always check in the trash. Now by default, Google gives you 30 gigabytes of storage space for your documents online. Now that's just uploaded documents. If you create them within Google Drive, like if you create a new document or you create it doesn't count against your space. So 30 gigabytes is a lot of space and a lot of documents can be saved in. The next piece is the search box that's in Google Drive. So eventually, and I know it doesn't look like it now, but eventually you'll get a whole bunch of folders and a whole bunch of files and a whole bunch of things that everyone's sharing with you. Well, you can just tap up here in this search drive and search for a piece of the name or a part of the name or even something that's inside the document that you might be looking for, and it'll bring it right up. The next part is over here on the top right. Now, unless you've set up Google Plus, which you can do, you won't have this little with your name and then a plus sign. After you set up Google Plus, which is Google's social media portion of all the apps that they give us, then you start to see this. The next thing over is this little group of squares, and it's basically a menu bar. So if you click on it, it opens up the mainly used documents, or applications that Google is providing us. Now they're providing us, as a district, I think it's over 75 or over 100 different applications that we can use for free. So there's Google Search, which is a given, and there's Google Plus, and if you click there, you can go and set up your Google Plus. Google Sites. Sites is a place to make web pages. If you have a class that you're going to end up, maybe a project is to build a website. Google Sites lets you do it for free. There is Gmail. Now it's turned off for the students, and actually it's turned off for everyone because we have Outlook email that we use already provided by Microsoft. So we're going to continue to use that, and Gmail will be turned off. Now you can click on it and see it, but you won't be able to do anything with it. There's a calendar. You can set up a calendar. There is, of course, Drive, and then they break down each one of the ones that's in Drive separately. So there's Docs, Sheets, and Slides. And if you click on More, it's going to give you even more. So now we have groups, contacts. So you can make a contact group of, say, first period kids, so that later on when you're sharing a document, you don't have to type out each individual student's name. You can just type in first period and share that with the whole class. There's Google Maps and YouTube. YouTube is still turned off for the students, but still on for the teachers. So, and then there's News, Translate. There's a few more down here, Classroom, Open Class. But if you click on Even More from Google, it's going to give you a web page where all of the applications that are provided to us are listed. And if you go there, you can come in and scroll through, and please feel free to play with any of them and incorporate them into your lessons any way that you can. Another thing about Google Chrome, and which is the web browser, and Google Docs, is that every time you go somewhere, it makes a new tab across the top. So you'll start to see that you have a bunch of tabs. So a little while ago, I was actually in Drive, but once I clicked on Even More, it made a new tab, took me to this web page. So to get back, really all I have to do is close that tab or click on this other tab, and it'll bring me right back over here. Get rid of that. Go. All right, so first things first. First thing I always have everybody do is create a new folder. So what we'll do is in Google Drive, under the New button, we'll click on New, and we'll say Folder. It automatically brings up a box for you to name this folder. Now I'm going to use the on-screen keyboard to name this folder, but you'll either use the keyboard for your computer or on a Chromebook or on your iPad. So let me bring that up real quick. And I'm going to call this folder, we're just going to call it Work. And I'm going to hit Create, and it's going to name that folder. Now you'll see within my Drive, I have a folder called Work. If I click on it once, it just highlights it, and I can do some things to it. I can get a link to it. I can share this folder with someone else. I can throw the folder away, or it even gives me a few more options here, like I can add a star, or view details, or even download that folder. As well, there are some sorting features. So this little icon right here, if I click that, it brings up a list view. So everything will be listed all in one. If I go back to the grid view, it's going to show little boxes for each one of the documents or folders that we have in there. I'm going to go back to list view. I like list view a little bit better. Next to the list and list view is a sorting feature. So you can sort by last opened, last edited, last modified, or by name. There's also an info button. So whatever you have selected in your Drive, you can click on the info button, and it'll list exactly what all the details about that particular folder or document. And then again, you have your settings buttons over here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to double click on the work folder. Now how do I know that I'm inside the work folder? Well, across the top it'll tell me that I'm in my drive and I'm also in the work folder. Now within this folder, I'm going to create a new document. So I go to New and I'll click on Google Docs. So here's the standard opening blank Google Docs, Google document. And the first thing I like to tell everybody is that every time you create a new document, it's always titled Untitled Document. Now, if you don't change that, you're going to end up with 60 documents called Untitled Documents, and you're going to have to look through each one. So the first thing you do when you create a new document is to give it a name. And it's very simple. All you do is click on where it says Untitled Document, and it brings up the screen to name it. Again, I'm going to use the screen, and I'm just going to call this Work again. And say OK. And so now you see that my Google Doc is called Work. And if I was to close out of this, inside of my Work folder, I now have a document called Work. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that document. Now, it's basically like Word. I mean, there's a lot of the formatting settings, spacing, fonts, font sizes, font colors, underlined, highlighted, text. All of the formatting features should seem pretty familiar. They've taken a lot of cues from Microsoft Word and Excel and Office and everything. The other nice thing about Google Docs, whether it's a document, a spreadsheet, a slideshow, whatever, it's instantly saved. So this says right here, it says last edit was seconds ago. So as soon as you stop typing, it saves it. There is no file and save and worrying about did I save it, did I not save it. It's automatically saved for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little bit of text here. And oops. This on screen. Hey. This. Yep. Yeah. So now I've got some text in there, and I can see that all set changes have been saved. Now I've got some content. The big thing about Google Docs and what it's going to help do is everyone work collaboratively, work together. Students will be working on projects together. And so the most important thing about this, because the formatting is about the same as Word and you can do about the same amount of things, everybody should be familiar with that. What everyone is not familiar with is sharing a document with somebody else. Now, normally you would make a copy and you would email it to them and they would open it up and they would have their own copy to work in. Well, now with Google Docs, what they let you do is they give you this nice blue share button over here. And if I click on share, it brings up this little box. Basically it says, do you want to share this with others? And a few other things here. I can get a shareable link. If I click right here, it's going to give me this link. And this hyperlink is a direct link to the paper that I'm working on right now. So if I was to copy this link and send it to someone in an email, then they could open it up and view it. And I can give different rights for that as well. Now, normally what you would do is you would just come in here, you would click on share, and under people, you could start typing their names. So if I wanted to share this with myself, I'm going to say Seth. It starts to pop up. And there's more Seth than I thought. I guess there's a bunch of students in there. So here I am, Seth Kaler. Now I'm going to share this particular document with myself, and I can edit it. Now this is where you come in and you say, well, I want Seth to be able to see it, but not edit it, so that you can't make any changes. I just want some feedback from him. So you could come in here and change to Can View. So that when I share this with myself, and I open it in my own drive, I'm only going to be able to view it. And then I would send some feedback to the owner, whoever it was. There's also Can Comment. So if it's on Can Comment, I can actually type my comments into that paper. And whoever created the document can see my comments instantly as I make them. For the main part, you're usually going to say Can Edit. And I can add a note. Let's say if I just wanted some feedback, I could say, please just give me your feedback, and I could send it off. And whoever I'm sharing it with would get that note and know that I want some feedback, and then they would open it up and give their feedback. Now there is an advanced button down here. And if I click on advanced, this is where you can get a little bit more granular with how you share documents. So first thing off, it gives you that link again, that link directly to this document. Now it says who has access. Well, first of all, I'm using this Corpus Christi ISD account for the video today, but normally it would be me. Whoever made the document is the owner. So that's pretty plain and simple. You're the owner. Well, who has access? Right now, people at CCISD who have the link can view it. What that means is, if I take this link and email it to you and you open it up, you have access to it. Now, if someone goes on to their drive and does a search for the document called work, they're not going to see it, only if they have the link. If somebody goes into Google and searches for it, they're not going to find this document. Only the people that have the link. Now that's not to say that if I email it to you and then you email it to somebody else, the link, then they can open it as well. So again, you have to be careful with that on who you send the link to if you don't want it out there. But if I click on change, here are the different steps. And the bottom is off. So specific people. So that means that I would have to specifically type in the email of each person that I wanted to share this document with. The next step up is people with CCISD with the link, which means again that I could send them the link. Next step up is on for ccisd.us. What that means is, yes, we're using Google products, but we're still underneath this umbrella of CCISD. We're kind of like in our own private Google universe. So when that's on, anybody that's in that bubble of CCISD can search for that document and find it and open it up. Now they might not have any rights to it, but at least sometimes they can find it. Next step up is on and anyone with the link. Now what that means is we've left that bubble of ccisd.us domain, and now if I send that link to, let's say, my sister, who is not a part of CCISD, but I send the link to her and this button's turned on, that means that she can open it up and view it. Now, if it was just CCISD with a link and I sent it to my sister, she could not, because she is not a part of the ccisd.us domain. And the last one is public on the web. So public on the web means that it's out there. It's out there for everybody to see. It may not be easy to find, but they could eventually find the document that you've made. And again, that's the more granular view. I'm going to hit cancel here. And I'm going to go ahead and, the default is to send the person an email. So if I was to send it right now, I would get an email in my email account saying that Corpus Christi ISD had shared a document with me. Do I want to go view it? And I would say yes. I'm just going to uncheck that for now, and I'm going to hit OK. It's going to say, are you sure that you don't want to send them an email? And I'm going to say OK. So now, Corpus Christi ISD is the owner. I can edit it. And the more and more people that you add, they end up in this list as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. So now it shows that I'm sharing this particular document. Okay, so that is sharing a document in Google Drive. And the important thing about that is that it's the same across the board, whether you're in a slideshow or a PowerPoint. And I'll demonstrate that real quick by closing this tab and going back to the Drive, the main Google Drive. I'm going to tap on New again. First, click on New. And this time I'm going to say Google Sheets. So this would be the equivalent of Excel. Here it is, it's a spreadsheet. And again, it's untitled up here in the top. So I would click there, I would give it a title. I'm just gonna call it untitled for right now. But what I wanted to show you was that the same exact share button lives over here. The same exact, well, it wants me to name it. So let's see, let's give it a name. TST. Hit save. So again, I just type people's names, or I can go to advanced. I can give them edit, view, and I'm all inside of a spreadsheet. So just to show you that it's the same across the board. We'll go ahead and close that. And so now you'll see that I have a test spreadsheet that I really don't want to do anything with. So I'm going to tap on it or click on it once, and I'm going to click on the trash can and remove it from my Drive. That's it for creating a document and sharing it in Google Drive. Okay, so now that we've created a document and shared it, I want to show a little bit about what it's like to work in a document together collaboratively. So what I'll do is from my Drive, my main Drive, I still have that folder called Work. I'm going to open up the Work folder, and then there's my document called Work. I'm going to open that one up. Now right now, as I open it up, I'm in here, I'm the owner. I can type, I can change whatever I want. But like I shared it a little while ago with myself, so right now I'm going to have somebody open it up and just show you a little bit of what it looks like when you're working together. So if you don't mind opening up the document. And sometimes it can take a second, but there we go. So now we see up here in the upper right hand corner, a new little icon showed up. I have a picture in my profile, so my picture shows up. But if you didn't, it would have the first letter of their first name. So it would be an S or whatever. But you also see that there's a color bar underneath there. So now I have more than one cursor in this document. I have mine, and then I have this one that matches the same color up here. So if we're working together, go ahead and tab down a bit. You'll see, and just start typing whatever sentence. You'll see that the name of the person that's sharing it with appears above the cursor, and then their text automatically shows up instantly. Maybe a little bit of lag, just a tiny bit of a hesitation before it shows up, but it's there. And so anything that you do to work together will be all on the same page. One other thing I wanted to show you was underneath File, there is a See Revision History. Now, See Revision History is really important when you're working together, because on the right, once you hit See Revision History, on the right-hand pane, it opens up and it'll show you a revision history of this whole document. Now, if I go back to 9:54 this morning, the work that we've done together doesn't show up because it's a previous version. I can go back here to 10:20 and show the different work that we've done. Now, if I wanted to go back and I thought that something got typed that was wrong, or I needed to make some corrections or whatever, I could go back in time to 9:54, and then I would hit Restore this revision. And what it would do is it would restore it back to the way it was before we started working on it together. So that's working together in a document collaboratively. That's it. Thanks.